Hello, my beautiful little ghosties. Welcome back. We are back with Vampire Therapist. We're going to get straight into it, but before that, this is going to be a little bit more of a chill stream. Vampire Therapist, I typically have a lot of energy. I'm very eepy already. I really did decide to start stream and have this stream at 9:30 EST, and I'm already eepy. I'm very eepy. So energy levels might be a little bit lower. It might be a little bit more low-key, a little bit more chill. Yeah, that yawn counter is gonna go up like crazy, and I know that it is, because I have already yawned so many times so far today. Okay. Getting straight into it. Straight into it. More like gay into it. I'm joking. Boop, boop, ba-doop, boop. Yeah.
I gotta confess, boss, I'm a little down. I love helping other vampires, but getting therapy myself sometimes ain't much fun.
I understand. Looking in the mirror is difficult for any human, much more so when they don't cast a reflection.
You ain't kidding. It just seems like there's always work to do, you know? Like my walking in the woods for 90 years wasn't nearly enough time.
Where's my yawn counter?
I dare say you are correct. I believe that we must never cease our walking in the woods. There is no mystery deeper than that of our own existence.
Where do vampires come from anyway?
Well, Sam,
Yeah.
when two vampires love each other
Oh my
very
god,
much,
no,
Come on,
Angela
boss, that's not what I'm asking. Where do we come from?
the answer to that is much older than recorded history, my friend. But let us focus on you. We should start with some meditation and determine what thoughts are most important to you right now. Close your eyes and envision your place of comfort.
Okay.
I ain't good at being a therapist. Is my hat weird? Ich bin Sam. Ich bin ein cool man. Election looks real bad back home. Dr. Drain thinks I'm brain damaged. Why'd my mama have to marry that asshole? When's the sunrise? The Senora hates my guts. Sure wish you were still here, Jeb.
I don't know how to... I forgot this bit.
Actors need help, that's for dang sure. Wish I had more book smarts. Bet he scares the heck out of me. You're an idiot, Sam, hurting all them folk.
No.
Why'd I join up with a gang in the first place?
How are you feeling, my friend?
Pretty good. I gotta say, my head's been a mess of thoughts lately. I think I was afraid of therapy today.
Why is that, my friend?
Honestly,
what thoughts
a
came up?
mood.
Well, after last time, I think I was stewing a bit. Just being real angry at myself for joining that nasty cult in the first place.
They preyed on the vulnerable, as cults tend to do. If you had been a man of means with a robust support system, I doubt they would have noticed you.
Yeah, I know. And honestly, I'm mad about that too. I mean, my country did me real wrong and put me in that sorry state to begin with.
This sounds like a proverbial can of worms.
Yeah, you could definitely say that. After we talked last time, I kept thinking, what could I have done differently? And the answer amounts to horse shit.
Yeah.
All that law breaking I did, all that murdering and stealing and doing no good, that was my country failing me.
Yeah, to an extent.
Let us slow down, Samuel. You are making a bit of a logical leap. I have great admiration and empathy for you, my friend. But it is disrespectful to those you hurt to blame anyone but yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could have died. Suppose that would have been kinder. But that's a lot to ask a boy to do.
I am not suggesting that you should have died. And I do not suggest that your country was without fault. However, your country had its role, and you had yours. You are using a cognitive distortion called blaming. When we engage in blaming, we ignore or wipe away our own faults, attributing them to someone or something else. Our faults are precious, Samuel. We cannot be ourselves without them. Do not wipe them away.
I mean, I just wish things hadn't been the way they were. If my country had taken a better trail, maybe I would have turned out different.
Differently. I am sorry to interrupt, but Senora Deste might correct you less gently. Now then, perhaps it would help to put blaming into perspective. It is always humbling to see ourselves in the mirrors of our minds, is it not? Let's try some examples. See if you can tell when I am blaming. I turned into a bat the other day and flew right into a tree. Who put that tree there?
Blaming someone else, or the tree, for you being clumsy, that ain't gonna do anyone much good. I smacked into my fair share of trees back when I was a youngster, but that was definitely my fault.
I've smacked into a lot of trees, and I'm not even a vampire. I've smacked into door frames that have always been there.
Of course, there is no shame in being a novice flyer as a young vampire, but we can be insecure creatures. That's our humanity at work. I was unable to perform in bed with Crimson the other night. It must have been her fault.
Dang, that is some blaming. Takes two to tango, boss. Maybe there's some bad blood brewing between you two, and I wish I hadn't heard about it.
Do not worry, my friend. Crimson and I bring each other great satisfaction.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Andy? Yeah?
All right, I get it.
I said nothing lurid, Samuel. Why are you so distressed?
Singing, great satisfaction. It's like hearing your parents talking about their sex lives. I mean, not that you're... forget I said anything.
All right, Samuel, let us move on. The interface on this widely used new vampire dating app is so modern. How do they expect anyone to use this cursed thing?
I feel like that one's fine.
Did you see the football game the other night? My preferred team played with great skill and should have won. The referee was clearly an agent of the Dark Lord.
Blaming.
Now,
That's
hold on,
blaming.
Andy. I think I saw the game you're talking about, and you're just blaming the ref for your team's mistakes. You got a great tight end, but one that plays a little dirty.
Excuse me?
Oh,
I didn't mean it like that. Oh, heck, I can't talk right today.
It's quite all right. Isn't getting dirty the point of play? It is the fault of the cursed sun that we must live in darkness.
Well, the sun can't help being the sun, so don't go blaming it. The way I see it, we got our place, and that ain't nobody's fault.
Well done, Samuel. Perhaps the sun is even more brilliant in our memories, and seeing the real thing would spoil it.
yeah.
Well, that's one way of thinking about it.
There are some blaming distortions you missed in there, my friend. Listen
Oh.
once more. I turned into a bat the other day and flew right into a tree. Who put that?
Blaming someone else, or the tree, I smacked into my fair...
Of course, there is no I was unable to perform in bed. The interface on this widely used new vampire dating app is...
Come on
I
now, Bob.
You
accidentally...
are correct, Samuel. It was on... By the way, thank you again for teaching me Control V and Control...
Oh, yeah. Way faster than going through the edit.
You youngsters always find the latest tricks. Let's keep.
I think I get it. I ain't trying to erase what I did. I'm just bitter that I felt like I had no choice at all. And it all goes back to the United States taking my daddy away for their manifest destiny. I'm mad at him too. Dying for his country. What kind of nonsense is that? How'd his country pay him back?
Yeah.
By making my poor ma marry a drunk who beat the daylights out of her and his kids? Ain't no damn wonder I turned out the way I did.
Yep. And there we go. The trauma. And that shit is fucking tough. It fucking sucks. It does.
That must have been devastating, Samuel. Countries are not human. They cannot feel. And stories such as yours prove it.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell, Andy? My daddy's corpse didn't give a shit about no United States of America. It's kind of funny when you think about it. He died fighting the British so the U.S. could say they own Missouri. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Truly.
Andy, the best thing about being dead is realizing how little that nationalism crap matters.
Desire for identity can create monsters worse than we. What happened after your father died?
Well, we didn't have nothing. The money was running out, so my ma got married to a hard man who drank even harder. He beat up my older brother, Jeb, for fun. And once Jeb started fighting back, dear old stepdad came for me. And that's when my brother killed him.
It sounds like a tragedy from my own country's mythology. I am sorry that such a thing happened to you, Samuel. Your brother was brave.
No kidding. We went on the run together, but he was the one who kept us alive and fed, mostly through stealing and begging. Once we stopped being cute, begging didn't work anymore, so we moved
Yeah.
up to robbing and killing. Killed my first man at 12, and then it got a little too easy.
That is young. I cannot imagine how difficult that must have been, Samuel. My country asked me to kill at 20, and I still remember how devastating it felt.
Yeah, well, nobody told me to do it. Like you said, that was all me. I don't think anyone was surprised either. When my brother and I rode into a town, you should have seen the way people looked at us. They knew we were trouble, and we were determined as hell to prove them right.
Aha, a moment, Samuel. I believe this is an opportunity for some growth.
It's them distortions again, huh?
To err is human, as they say. Do not be discouraged. There is something in what you just said that you cannot be sure of. Can you tell me what it is?
The people knew we were trouble.
I guess there ain't no way of knowing that people thought we were trouble.
That's right, Samuel. There is one way of knowing exactly what they were thinking, and that would be to read their minds.
Which isn't a power until you get to your 2000s.
Thus is the cognitive distortion called mind reading. Yes, we can weigh evidence and make predictions, but never with complete certainty.
I was a dirty little thieving murderer. I don't blame him for judging me.
First, that's labeling. Second, one of those people might have been patient and gentle, one that had an experience like yours. You cannot know.
Yeah.
With your mind reading, do you see how you made everyone your enemy?
Yeah, you're right.
No one expects a child to be perfectly aware of themselves and the world, Samuel. Remember, start with compassion for yourself. Here, let us do an exercise to help you recognize mind reading. Jesus Christ would have disliked the idea of anal intercourse.
I think that's mind reading.
I know that's mind reading right there. Unless you asked Jesus Christ himself and he told you, there's no way you'd know how he feels about butt sex.
Okay.
Very good, Samuel. Many in my time have claimed to know the mind of Jesus Christ, and none of them have ever even met him.
Yeah.
You were there when he was kicking around. You ever meet him?
Yeah.
No, that part of the world was never really vampire-friendly.
Yeah, it would be kind of hard during the day with it being so bright and hot.
The
and
chair
sunny.
you're sitting in is one of his, though. Magnificent, isn't it?
Ah,
Jesus Christ made this chair?
I bought it cheaply before he became a big deal. He was certainly ahead of his time as a carpenter.
yeah.
Dang. Now I feel awkward sitting in this thing.
It's more than 2,000 years old, Samuel. It is still just a chair, and it's experienced millennia of past wind. Don't worry about it. Crimson is upset with me because I forgot to take out the garbage. I know because she told me so. I sent my friend Vlad an internet message, and he left it on read. He must hate me.
That's mind reading.
That's some mind reading for sure. There's no way you know what Vlad's thinking. Maybe he wasn't ready to answer, or maybe he forgot.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Excellent, Samuel. That's correct. There are endless reasons why Vlad would leave my messages unread, and only Vlad knows them.
Yeah.
Reading too much into an internet message is a massive waste of time.
Yeah, truly.
Now, the Pony Express was a lot healthier, I think. This internet stuff makes people get real nutty.
Mortals are in more of a rush than we are, I'm afraid. Let us continue.
Yeah. Limited life, it's a whole thing.
One
It's
of the patrons
mortality.
of my club was having dirty thoughts about me. I know because I read his mind with my vampiric powers. I told our bouncer Bert a funny joke the other day. He was quiet, but very amused.
That one feels correct.
You did not find all the instances of mind reading, Samuel.
Damn
Please
it.
listen closely.
Damn it.
Jesus Christ would have disliked the idea of anal intercourse.
That
I
one's
know
right.
that's mind reading right there. Unless you asked Jesus Christ himself and he told you, there's no way you'd know how he feels about butt sex.
Very good, Samuel. Many in my time have...
You were there when he was kicking around.
No, that part of the world was never... The chair you're sitting in is one of his, though.
Jesus Christ made the...
I bought it cheaply before he...
Dang. Now if he...
It's more than 2,000 years old. Crimson is upset with me because I forgot to take out the garbage. I know because she told me so. I sent my friend Vlad an internet message, and he left it on read.
That's some mind reading for sure. There's no way you know what Vlad's thinking.
Excellent, Samuel. That's correct. Reading too much into an internet...
Now, the Pony Express was a lot healthier, I think.
Mortals are in more of a rush than we are. One of the patrons of my club was having dirty thoughts about me. I know because I told our bouncer Bert a funny joke the other day. He was quiet, but very amused.
How the heck would you know if Bert was amused by your jokes? That's clearly mind reading.
Yeah.
You are correct, Samuel. No one knows what Bert is thinking.
Only Bert.
I like to think he dreams of butterflies. But who can say?
I don't think he's thinking of butterflies.
Then you are mind reading, Samuel. Let Bert be Bert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I believe you now understand that mind reading may have closed the door on some opportunities for you.
I suppose. I can't really know either way, but I guess that's the point of all this. Knowing what's real and what's not.
Exactly, Samuel. So tell me, what happened to you and your brother?
Oh, this shit is so sad.
You don't know already. I thought we were famous Wild West outlaws. They called us the Handsome Boys, on account of the fact that we were young and good-looking. I think we made as close to a living as possible while keeping up a life like that for some 35 years. They stopped calling us the Handsome Boys eventually. Mostly they just called us those two sumbitches. Jeb and I married a pair of sisters, even talked about settling down in some kind of fashion. I guess we got greedy, though. One last big job, as they say in the pictures. Met this fella in a saloon who'd heard of us. Went by Ernie. He said he'd help us take down the Pioneer Missouri Bank. A take of $30,000, split 3 ways.
Damn, and back in that day money, that's like, you're set for life.
That's about $1 million in today's dollars, but that kind
Yeah.
of money was unthinkable back when. We got the money all right, but my brother got shot in the head. Dead before he even hit the ground.
Shit.
I didn't know who did it, so in my rage, I killed every soul in that bank. Ernie and I ran off with that dirty money, but weren't nothing the same after that. When she heard the news, my sister-in-law was screaming so loud she scared the coyotes away. My wife left with her that night, and I didn't see either of them ever again.
I do not blame him.
Not sure I wanted to.
Oh,
I had $15,000 and no interest in spending it. Just sat there in a sack. When Ernie invited me to join his gang, I saw no reason not to.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I signed that devil's contract as soon as I started killing them folks in the bank.
Shit.
I am sorry, Samuel. That is a truly horrifying story. I can hear the pain in your voice. Your brother was precious to you.
Yeah. He wasn't a good man, Andy. But he kept me safe. Without him, I knew I'd be doomed. I was certain I had no choice but to join the Mystic Bastards.
That's a fucking distortion.
Yeah, I know. Cognitive distortion.
I know you know, Samuel. A new one, but I think you can identify it on your own. What is the cognitive distortion you are displaying now?
Nosferatu thinking. I was too sure of my
I was
fate.
so sure I was right to join the Mystic Bastards. Ain't nobody could have convinced me otherwise.
Indeed, Samuel. This cognitive distortion is known as being always right. And when you are always right, your choices are limited, even if they lead to doom. We become so convinced that only we have the appropriate perspective, even in a world of infinite possibilities. One would expect immortals to be immune to this distortion after seeing their beliefs challenged over generations. But we are just as susceptible to being always right.
I would think especially so, because, you know, you've lived so long that, like, surely an immortal would start to be like, no, I'm definitely right, because I've seen all this before. Yeah.
Let's try some examples so you can identify when I am always right. I have the experience of ages. My authority cannot be questioned.
Okay, Boomer.
Excuse me?
Just something I hear the kids say when
Yeah.
old mortal folk are acting like they're always right. The folks born after World War II are real good at destroying the world, but they assume age leads to wisdom. It ain't
Yeah.
necessarily so.
You are always right about that. Well done, Samuel. With my multi-generational economic expertise, I am confident that market conditions will result in mass layoffs in the next quarter.
That one feels correct.
I know that turning another into a vampire inevitably results in resentment.
That sounds like you're always right. I know a lot of us vampires ain't too happy with our lot in life, but we ain't always resentful.
Yeah.
That is correct, Samuel. Of course, we must be careful when choosing whom we turn and when. Choosing to live forever is not a choice casually made.
Yeah.
It ain't usually a choice at all.
Oh, damn it. That's yawn counter.
But we will endeavor to break that cycle, my friend. We have enough clients already without having more resentful immortals running around. Let us continue.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that vampires become misanthropic as they age. I do not need your perspective.
That's always right.
And now hold on, you ain't always right. You thinking we're gonna turn into misanthropes is limiting you from making new vampires, but that's just your thinking.
Yeah.
Very good, my dear Samuel. Caution is warranted when bringing a new soul into the dark, but I must consider perspectives other than my own. I have not had much good fortune with my children of darkness, but I am indeed not the only judge of character.
You got kids, Andy?
I had many dark children before I recognized the gravity inherent in doing so.
Ah.
I only wish more of my brethren could learn what a responsibility it is to begin the unlife of another.
Yeah.
I know the internet is a passing fad. I have seen technology come and go, so I can trust my own expertise.
That feels always right.
I think you're doing a little always right there, Andy. A lot of folks had unwavering confidence that the fax machine was gonna stick around forever, but they
Yeah.
weren't right neither.
Truly, I still use my fax machine. It is the preferred mode of communication among vampires here in Germany.
What the fuck, Andy?
Heck, I guess that just proves no one is always right about technology.
Mm-hmm.
I think I get it, boss. If I had found folks to listen to other than myself, maybe I wouldn't have joined up with Ernie's gang.
Perhaps, perhaps not. You had plenty of reasons for making the choices you made. Reflecting on them is what helps us to grow.
Yeah, I'm a lucky fellow all in all. I did some stuff with those vampires that I was pretty sure erased any humanity I had left, but I was wrong. Them transcendentalists I hold up with were ready to help me no matter how nasty I was. And I know I've done a lot of thinking on my own, but I owe them everything.
I really want fan fiction of him first getting discovered by the transcendentalists and him being just like fucking feral ass vampire, like hissing at people and shit. I want that. I want that fan fiction so bad.
I've done a lot of thinking on my own, but I owe them everything. Is that so, Samuel? Can you point out your own distortion there?
Disqualifying the positive.
It's my old favorite sneaking up on me, disqualifying the positive. I did plenty of work on myself.
That's right, Samuel. And why were the transcendentalists able to help you? We just went over it tonight.
I wasn't always right.
I realized I wasn't always right. I was ready to start receiving help.
Excellent, Samuel. Your capacity for self-reflection, and so quickly, is truly inspiring. I almost feel as though my blood is circulating on its own.
Oh, come on, Andy. I'm just a fella.
You have earned a reprieve from disqualifying the positive, my friend. Embrace it. I believe we have had a productive session today. Let us not press matters. This is difficult work, and you are handling it wonderfully. How do you feel?
You know, I feel okay. Somehow it's better than feeling good. What happened is what happened. Some bad stuff happened to me, and I did some bad stuff. And none of it lasts forever. That's the nice thing about having all the time in the world.
Your trials have made you wise indeed, my dear Samuel. Now rest, my friend. You shall soon share your wisdom with your clients. I wish you a good night.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe it's early coffin time for me tonight. Have a good night, Andy.
Yeah.
You as well, Samuel. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. I really want to suck some hot goth blood. How about that? No, I don't get to? Damn.
Samuel, greetings. You look a bit pale. May I offer you something to drink?
Yeah, you got any drinker's blood?
I know you are joking. You will not dilute your blood before a session.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, you're right. I just don't know who I'm meeting tonight. Is it gonna be Dr. Drain or that Lord Luridus fella?
Yeah. Ooh! Ooh, I want it to be Lord Luridus. I want... He's so fucking hot. Like, goddamn.
You only met a single individual last time, and you will meet only a single individual this time. Do not let Dr. Drain's avoidance of accountability confuse you.
You saw the guy, though. Lord Luridus ain't nothing like Dr. Drain.
And why do you think that is, Samuel?
It's easier for Dr. Drain to blame Luridus.
Well, maybe it's easier for Dr. Drain to blame Lord Luridus.
Correct, Samuel. A mild change in personality would be within Dr. Drain's control. Luridus is not, and therefore, Dr. Drain relinquishes control. Prepare yourself, my friend. Let us find the darkness that lives within Dr. Drain.
Okay. Let's put in always right there. And then... I feel like disqualifying the positive. Maybe control fallacy. And let's put some mind reading in there. maybe see how that works out.
All right, I think I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah.
Do not fear, Samuel. I shall not let Dr. Drain hurt you, no matter what he is calling himself. Do what you do best.
Okay.
I will, I promise. And here he comes, whoever he is today. Doc?
Somewhat taciturn today, then. Well, don't be upset with me. I did warn you about that beast. At least now you recognize the urgency in being rid of him. Perhaps now we can stop beating about the bush and actually fix my addiction problem.
I'm here to help, but if we're gonna lick this thing, we gotta do it honestly. And that means getting to the root of the problem.
I tire of this self-examination process. There must be something efficacious that I can do. Perhaps some sort of aversion therapy.
I don't
I am willing to do
think-
whatever it takes to make that villain just go away.
Then you gotta be willing to address the big old elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And what is that?
Lord Lourdes is kind of hot. Ghostly. I want to click that option, but I know that that isn't the correct one, so I'm not going to, but I really want to click it. What if I just save? What if I just saved the game really fast? Can I save it really fast? And then I click that. Yes. Okay. I'm doing it. I'm doing it, y'all.
I hate to say it, but Lord Lourdes is kinda hot, ain't he?
I've never seen the man, and I fail to see what relevance his physical appearance has to my problem.
Well, I just thought you should know.
I could perform an MRI on you, you know. Perhaps rigor mortis has hit your brain.
Okay. Load. Back to that point, because I know that it's the wrong option, but I got it. I had to get it out of my system. Because he's so fucking hot anyway. Okay.
You and Lord Lourdes ain't two different people. You keep talking about him like he's someone else, but you both got the same brain in there.
Yeah.
Complete and utter nonsense. You've met him. We share absolutely nothing in common. And what's more, I am fully aware that he hates me. Take a look at this note he left on my desk.
That's supposed to be you there with the micropenis?
Oh my god.
Indeed. Juvenile humor, to be sure. Certainly nothing I would produce.
Ain't he got the same penis, though?
Yeah.
Quite so. I have no doubt he does the most terrible things with it.
Oh my god.
So somehow he's got a different brain than you do, but the same penis. Something ain't adding up here, Doc.
I resent what you are suggesting. I have no effect on what Lord Lourdes does.
Ain't you giving Lord Lourdes your permission to come in and do what he does when you take that plasma stuff?
Yeah.
I didn't invite him in the first time. I had no idea what I had created. That his presence would become an addiction was not known to me.
Okay, so this is a motivation to stop taking it then, if you really can't stand him that much.
Dr. Drain, you're a scientist. Your stock and trade is in facts, ain't it? Let's leave thought out of this for now. You gotta be my scientist here and stick to what we know.
Very well. Yes. The genesis of Lord Lourdes was in the actions and choices I took. Are you quite satisfied?
Doc, we ain't here for my satisfaction. Do you really think that?
Well, the fact that I am upset right now certainly lends credence to the idea that you are trying to shame me.
Mind reading.
Let's go back to the science, Doc. Can you say with all confidence that I'm trying to shame you?
No, I cannot.
You can't read my mind, Doc. Or at least far as I know you can't. But if you could, you'd know what'd make me real satisfied is helping you out. I get that you're upset. This is tough stuff to face. But that don't make me a bad guy for talking about it. I'm here to help you face it. I won't lie to you, Doc. The people that Lord Lourdes has hurt probably would have a bone to pick with you. But I ain't here to punish nobody. That ain't the way to help you. In this room, we're working together. You're doing the hard work, and I'm just giving you support. Catch my drift, partner?
And so you do me even greater shame through kindness. I cannot win. Perhaps I should simply let that beast, Lord Luridus, have his way with me.
Control, should statement.
Come on now, Doc. You're jumping right to doom there. There are so many ways this therapy thing could go for you.
Yeah.
It ain't we destroy Lord Luridus or Lord Luridus wins. Jumping right to catastrophe just ain't realistic. Already you're fighting him by being here.
You too could live in harmony.
That means there's definitely something in the middle. And working together,
Yeah.
we'll make things better. Maybe not completely better. This work ain't never done.
Of course, I am forgetting myself. I am not usually prone to extremes. I shall attempt to be more mindful.
I ain't expecting you to be perfect, Doc. And I don't want you to expect perfection from yourself either. What I'm asking you for is self-compassion. That ain't erasing blame. It's just approaching yourself from a place of understanding. That's a scientific method, ain't it?
I doubt many in the scientific community would agree with such a statement, but I believe I understand the thrust of it. We cannot address facts if we mask them in emotionality.
That's exactly it, Doc. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Indeed. Thus my attempt to synthesize the thought properly.
Well, thank the dark powers that made us. Someone in here's the smart one.
Very well. We shall take a strategic, scientifically sound approach. We will agree upon facts, develop hypotheses, test and validate.
Yeah.
If I rely on the science, I will never be wrong.
That seems like a control phallus. No?
Dr. Drain is so certain that science will be his savior. What if it is not?
Always right?
If I rely...
Hold on a sec. Before we jump in, Doc, I gotta challenge you. Even science ain't gonna make it certain you're always right.
Yeah.
The answers science gives you might not be the answers that are best for you. I just want you to keep your mind open, all right?
My mind is always open. I'm a scientist.
Okay.
I'm just gonna reflect that back to you and see if you think that's true. You're saying being a scientist means your mind is always, without fail, open.
Well, suppose that sounds a bit ridiculous. Very well. I shall endeavor to ensure that my thinking is flexible.
There we go.
Sounds good to me, compadre.
That sounds better.
Let's start assembling them facts. Can I ask you some questions then?
You may. Let us begin.
Okay.
All right, so you told me that the thing that makes your plasma addicting is how good it makes you feel when you wake up from it. From your scientific perspective, what makes it feel good?
Yeah.
From a chemical perspective, good feelings, or positive emotions, are the result of neurotransmitter action.
Okay.
Considering the specific emotions felt in the immediate moment are contentment and satisfaction, it is certain that I am experiencing an oxytocin and dopamine release.
Okay.
It is a primal limbic response. In laboratory settings, we observe a constant drive in animals towards stimulating the release of amygdala-receptive neurotransmitters.
I think you're gonna need to boil that down for me, Doc.
That's a lot of words.
I did not come here to teach, but so be it. Ask your questions.
A lot of words. Little cowboy brain. A lot of words, one brain cell.
Well, what's
Limbic
the
system.
limbic system do?
The limbic system functions as the emotional center of the brain, responsible for emotional responses such as joy, fear, and anger.
Okay.
So it's like the part of my brain
Tracks.
deciding if I should be scared of a rattlesnake or happy about a belly full of blood.
Precisely. It plays a crucial role in forming memories and making decisions based on emotional experiences.
Okay.
Often called the lizard brain, it's evolutionarily one of the older parts of the brain, indicating its fundamental role in regulating survival instincts.
That's actually really fascinating. I love that it... I love that so often we get to learn things about, like, history and, like, psychology and science. I love this game so much,
I've been
y'all.
called lizard brain before, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't a compliment.
Neurotransmitters.
What's this about neurotransmitters?
I think I know what he's referring to, but I'm going to let him say it.
Neurotransmitters are chemical messengers that neurons use to communicate with each other.
Yes.
For example, social bonding reliably triggers a release of oxytocin, creating a sense of security and attachment.
So, if I'm reading you right, when I'm feeling all snug after a good feed, it's them oxytocin neurotransmitters doing their thing?
Exactly. This process is an integral part of our brain's reward system, encouraging behaviors that are perceived as beneficial for our survival and well-being.
So, survival feels good, basically.
Yes, though I would not publish such a statement in an academic paper.
Okay, but we're not posting things. We're not putting things in an academic paper. You're in therapy.
So what's all this stuff really mean in the end, Doc? Why's this neurotransmitter stuff even matter?
Yeah.
An intriguing question. Naturally, emotion does not have a practical evolutionary application on its own.
Yeah, but it's tied into so many different things that it... Okay.
However, these emotions signal to the reptilian brain whether or not we are under threat.
Oh, well, dang, now I think we're getting somewhere. I think the answer's right in front of us.
Oh? And what is it that your rooting, tooting brain can synthesize that mine cannot?
He needs a psychiatrist. He needs to live in the woods. Lord Lourdes feels safer than Dr. Drain.
You don't feel safe on your own. Taking that plasma forces you to get that neurotransmitter hit.
An intriguing theory. However, evidence stands against it. Like it or not, I am a vampire. The only thing that may threaten me is the sun or a more powerful vampire.
Yeah, but ultimately your brain is still that of a human's, and you are probably very lonely feeling.
I should not be experiencing feelings of mortal danger. I am not immortal. Logically, I should know such a thing is ridiculous.
Humans kind of, like, it's kind of like a part of the thing of being human is that, like, you know, you want to have connections to other people in the community, and it makes you feel better, and it makes you feel more secure in yourself and in your place within a larger community, to have friendships and people that you see on the regular, and like all these different anyway. Should say
There's them should statements again, Doc. It doesn't matter what logic says. You still got that part of your brain that says it's in danger, and that part doesn't care about logic.
An astute point, and an inconvenient one. That we should be saddled with such vestigial, primal concerns is most unfortunate.
Damn it, yawn counter. I yawned again. Dun, 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 dun. I love the beats. Okay.
Can't avoid the fact that we still got them human concerns.
Yeah.
At least we don't gotta poop, huh?
Yeah.
Oh dear, and you are doing so well. At least I have nothing to fear from you.
Okay. Okay, damn. But yeah. No. I don't know. I feel like... I don't know. Now I'm questioning if I would miss pooping if I was a vampire. I don't think I would. Huh.
It's true, though. We're still animals, partner.
Yeah.
We gotta satisfy the animal. Just not through pooping.
But we are immortal. Why do we have animal needs, fears, and emotions? What possible use do they have?
Sometimes, Doc, you are just too smart for your own good.
Yeah.
You're logicking away all the good things about being human.
Yeah.
I mean, let's say we freed ourselves from those biological concerns. Got rid of all them fears and insecurities and quirks. Why are we doing anything then? I don't know about you, Doc, but I don't want to turn into a computer. All them great discoveries and works of art came from our humanity.
Yeah.
Perhaps it is so. Do you know, I met Isaac Newton several times. The young fellow was motivated indeed, but it was his human vindictiveness that made him so effective. All those motherfuckers who called me a nerd are going to pay, mark my words, he would say. Or something along those lines.
What do you mean? He said all those motherfuckers. They called me a nerd. What the fuck? Oh my god.
So, he was making sure none of those motherfuckers could hurt him.
That was certainly part of it. It was not just the love of science that drove the man. It is such a disappointing notion, however, to think that we cannot transcend our reptilian brain, even when we are beyond death.
We're dealing in facts, though, and I think what we're coming to is that your reptilian brain doesn't feel safe.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely ridiculous. But I must admit that it is somehow true. What a devastating revelation. Dr. Drain, for all his scientific achievement, is just an emotional little laboratory rat who bases all his decisions in fear.
That's... disqualifying.
Yeah, you just jump right to that extreme.
Yep.
You're probably the smartest fella I ever met, Doc. You ain't a science god, but who is?
Truly.
I think there's a lot of room between being a lab rat and being the perfect logical being.
Damn it. I seriously need to, like, once I am able to get to Twitch affiliate, my plan is to commission an artist to make a yawning emote, because I think that would be so fun.
You are, of course, correct. I am letting my emotions get the better of me. Most unscientific.
Doc, I want to go back to one of them things I was telling you about in our first session, and that's self-compassion.
Yeah, love yourself.
Let's say you had some vampire apprentice, a scientist like you, who didn't know nothing like what you know, and said they were down on themselves for all the reasons you are. What would you say to them?
Well, I would explain that progress is non-linear. The scientific method, in fact, celebrates failure. That which does not conform to theory still informs theory.
Yeah.
Any chance you could put the scientists away and talk
Exactly.
to their human side?
Well, I suppose I would say that it is fine, that all things are temporary, and the universe does not care to condemn them.
So how can we get you to say them things to yourself, Doc?
Yeah.
My situation is not the same. I was trained in the age of discovery. I bear the responsibility for that age.
You did. You don't anymore.
But if this project of mine, to create the blood that will sustain the world, is not what I am here for, then what is my purpose?
To exist?
Well, let me ask you, what's the purpose of a gopher?
Yeah.
Rodentia, Geomedae. Rodents endemic to North America, known for their tunneling ability and as agricultural pests. I believe they are the prey of owls, snakes, and coyotes, and are omnivorous themselves, consuming vegetables, insects, and small mammals.
I wasn't expecting you to be so thorough. I don't think I knew half that stuff.
I have come to learn nearly everything there is to know about mammalian biology as a result of my research. Please get to the point.
I think I forgot what it was now.
That is not encouraging.
Hold on a sec, I think I've got it.
Gophers have
Gophers
a
have a purpose. Driving people crazy, that's what. Used to wreak havoc on the farmland back in Missouri.
Absolutely ridiculous. That is not their purpose. It's an ill-informed anthropocentric philosophy defined and subscribed to entirely by said anthropocentrists.
Okay.
I didn't know bugs could do that.
Anthropocentrists, not arthropods. Humans. Homo sapiens. I am saying that you have created a purpose for the gopher that the gopher is entirely unaware of.
Okay.
So, who made your purpose, Dr. Drain?
Yeah.
What? Well, I did, I suppose.
So if you made it, you can change it, right?
But how can I change my purpose? I have always been a scientist. So that's what I am.
All right, well, let's take that scientific approach and try to figure out who the man behind the scientist is.
Yeah.
Very well. If we look at the behavior of our subject, myself, we can infer a few things. If we examine my behavior, one can draw a comparison to a threatened higher-thinking mammal. I spend much time in ensuring personal safety and security.
He has anxiety. He's constantly under high stress and high anxiety. And so his brain can't seem to shut itself off and be like, we're safe, we're okay. Oh my god.
What about your more peaceful moments?
Yeah.
What do they look like?
I believe these feelings are only medically induced through my special plasma. However, Dr. Drain appears to be at rest when he is full and satisfied.
And your synthetic blood doesn't do that for you.
I am forced to admit that at present, it does not.
Dr. Drain, what do you think of drinking something a little more fresh and human?
I will not. I do not have to. That depraved vampire, Lord Lyridus, is the source of all that is base and vulgar about my person.
Okay. I'm not saying anything base or vulgar. I'm saying maybe you have a human that is willing to donate to you every now and then, and maybe you just have a nice chat. A nice chat over a cup of tea. How about that?
Well, what if you indulge Lord Lyridus once in a while? Maybe you could keep him from coming out.
Do you not understand what I have been working toward for the last 400 years? I will finally be able to transcend this thing that I am. I shall be a parasite no more.
Okay.
Come on, Dr. Drain. You're a scientist. You know mankind ain't got that kind of control over nature. Ain't you ever seen that movie where they bring back the dinosaurs?
Mm-hmm.
That film was scientific drivel. Its simplistic understanding of DNA should have alienated its audience immediately. But then, who can guess with Americans?
Okay. But the general point is, man can never rule over nature.
It was a good story, though. And in the end, it wasn't a story about DNA. It was a story about controlling nature, which I'm sure you know ain't never worked.
Yeah.
Your argument does not hold weight when your source of truth is a fantasy film.
Okay.
Dr. Drain, we really got to talk about some kind of middle path here.
Yeah.
Back home, we tried the whole abstinence thing a few times, and it didn't go too well. We tried to stop drinking, and that just made people only do bad drinking.
Uh-huh.
We tried telling teenagers sex was evil, and that just made them want it even more while being ashamed of themselves. What if you just tried to do some of them things Lord Lyridus does? Just don't do them the way he does.
I find the idea utterly repellent.
Yeah, but then you go and take that plasma, and Lord Lyridus makes the decisions. We don't want that, right?
Fine. Fine. I'll drink some blood. But I warn you, Sam, the price of failure is most dear. If I should lose my humanity, all of humanity will lose.
That's... No?
The entire world will suffer for Dr. Drain's failure. This is a stark vision for the future that he holds.
But I warn you,
Doc, you really can't be putting the weight of the world
Control
on your
fallacy.
shoulders. That ain't something you can control, compadre. Now, I know you're a capable fella, but the world is gonna turn with or without you.
You think so? I can't imagine someone with my highly rational mind feeling so strongly if my prediction weren't firmly rooted in fact.
I know it all seems real heavy right now. Just show yourself a little compassion and patience. Beating yourself up over a future that ain't happened yet isn't gonna help you. We need to go back to this thing I brought up before. You're a smart fella, Dr. Drain, but sometimes you're forgetting vampire commonality. We've all felt like the world was ending, or that we're awful monsters. But them feelings are our perceptions alone.
Yes, I'm aware. Perhaps I've been a little too human in my foibles. However, you forget my training in history. I am not an average vampire. I was trained by the great Professor William Harvey.
Okay. Real quick, y'all. I'm looking up who this person is. Who the fuck is William Harvey? Oh, like Harvard? Wait, is it like Harvard? Wait. Professor William Harvey. An English physician who made influential contributions to anatomy and physiology. Okay.
I have had 4 centuries to unlock the secrets of
Thank
animal
you,
biology.
Google.
I have a duty to humanity and to my own legacy. A duty I should not fail in. Otherwise, what was it all for?
No?
Dr. Drain is so certain
What?
of what he must do, and he does not consider any other fate. We immortals often become stuck in such thinking, alas.
I have a duty to humanity.
No.
Dr. Drain is so certain of what he must do.
Am I
I
reading?
have a duty to humanity.
No?
Dr. Drain is so certain of what he must do.
I have a duty to humanity.
Dr. Drain is so certain
That's a
of
fucking
what...
should statement?
Hold your
What the
horses
fuck?
there, amigo. You say you've got a duty to humanity? Well, that ain't scientific at all. It ain't just anthropocentric. It's Dr. Drain-centric. Nobody said you had to do anything.
Yeah.
Remember when we first started talking, I told you about them should statements? That's what you're doing, compadre. Just remember that them shoulds are yours.
Yes. I must be frustrating to you, Sam. I invoke the same delusions over and over again.
It's okay.
Hey, come on, Doc. You should be proud of yourself. You know what the difference is between you and vampires who never improve themselves?
He's here.
You're here. You've made a commitment to getting your head on straight. And you're getting there, my friend. Already you're making some big changes and investing in yourself.
Yeah.
I can see it.
He's doing good.
So let's cut Dr. Drain a break. How about it, amigo? He doesn't need the weight of the world on him. There's only one thing he should do, and that's have a little understanding and empathy for himself. You get me?
Yes, I get you. Very well. I shall try to keep a clear head. And I will arrange to drink some real blood. There's plenty of it in the lab. I shall just liberate some of it.
Good man. We'll talk about how it's gone next month, all right?
Indeed. Until then, Sam, and thank you for your patience.
I ain't got nothing but time, amigo. You can thank me by being
Yep.
patient with yourself.
All the same, you have my thanks. I shall see you in a few weeks then. Farewell.
Well done indeed, Samuel. I think we are starting to see a new version of the good doctor in the making.
I hope you're right, boss. That fella's awful hard on himself.
Yep.
That is normal, my friend. Being a vampire takes a lot of self-acceptance. He is only taking his first steps in discovering this.
Yeah, fair enough. It took other people forgiving me for me to forgive myself.
And now you pass on this gift of compassion to Dr. Drain. Now, Samuel, the evening is still young. See what the night has to offer downstairs.
That sounds good, Andy.
Rest in peace, my friend.
Hot goths? Do we get hot goths? Hot goth?
I always come out of the doc sessions feeling dumber than ever.
Alright, I think we're gonna end it there. That was Vampire Therapist. I'm very sleepy. As you can tell by the yawn counter. I yawned like, what, 4 separate times? Just in this one stream. Like, damn. Anyway, we are going to raid somebody. Let's see. Who are we going to raid? We're gonna go raid Hero. Be nice, be kind, but of course you're going to be, because you're one of my beautiful little ghosties. Good night, goodbye, and I'll see you next time, my beautiful little ghosties. Bye-bye.